What got into my Carolina Tar Heels? Started out slow, and I think they won 5 in a row. Beat NC State at the buzzer. Next game tomorrow against Virginia. He's the head coach, Roy Williams, who joins us now. All right, tell me the brilliant coaching strategy or pep talk you gave your kids that maybe had this turnaround.
Dan, it wasn't any of that, I guarantee you. But, at times we were pretty doggone good early. We beat Michigan State, we beat Louisville, we beat Kentucky because we had played with what I call a great sense of urgency. You know, some people say play hard, but I think it's playing with great effort, but also with great concentration and the whole bit. And then some of the other games we didn't, and people slapped us. And it took a while to get everyone to understand how important that part was, and I think the kids do realize it now. They've bought into it, and it's been 10 in a row for us right now, and we've been very lucky, some of those too. But that's the whole thing. The kids really did buy into it, started playing harder, started concentrating better, started just losing themselves in the game is another thing that I use, but they really started doing a better job.
We were talking about the NFL is going to add, it looks like, 2 more playoff teams. And you're of an age where we remember when it was 32 teams, and I think it was 1985. Then we went to 64. The regular season is watered down. It's rare when a regular season game has the utmost importance. You know, we used to have these showdowns with the Big East or Virginia with Ralph Sampson against Patrick Ewing and Georgetown. You guys against Duke. What happened? And is there a way to get the regular season back where it really means something?
Well, I wish it did, but I will say one thing, though. The reason we don't have those marquee games that you're talking about now is that we have 100 of them. I mean, seriously, there are so many big games that people don't even realize. I mean, we have the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You know, we play Michigan State. They're number 1 at Michigan State. You know, we do play Kentucky still, and but we have some of those. But now, it used to be Hawaii and Alaska. Now there's Hawaii and there's Alaska. There's Nassau. There's Puerto Rico. There's Patrick University's Invitational. I mean, there's so many of those. They themselves don't stand out as much. And then once I say that, I'll agree with you that I wish there was a way the regular season did mean more at the end, because I think it does to the fans of those schools. They come and see those big games, and they have a great time, and they enjoy college basketball. But on a national scope, the regular season doesn't stand out because everybody just wants to know, okay, what do you think you'll be seeded, or do you think you're going to make the tournament? And the tournament's fantastic, there's no question about it. But I've always said that there's automatic berths that go to conference tournament winners. I think the automatic berth should go to the regular season winners of the conference. I agree with you completely, Dan. I wish the regular season meant a lot more than it really does to a lot of people.
If Wichita State runs the table during the regular season, should they be the number 1 overall seed?
It depends on what other people do. For somebody that, if Florida is playing great right now, or Arizona, if those guys get really, really close, I think it would be hard for Wichita State. But if not, if everybody's got 3 or 4 losses or whatever like that, and they run the table, I think they should be. It's what it is. It's college basketball. They play the schedule that they're given. They're in a conference. They're a fantastic team, and it's a great story.
Can we put to bed the mid-major term?
Oh, I think so. There's so many good players nowadays. I mean, people used to call Gonzaga a mid-major.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody calls Gonzaga a mid-major anymore. They were the number 1 seed of the whole place last year going into the tournament. Butler, yeah. I mean, Butler slapped us in Maui last year. I think they had us by 97 with 5 minutes to go in the first half or something like that.
It's a long flight back.
That's right.
Your reaction with Jim Boeheim the other night against Duke?
Oh, 2 or 3 reactions. First of all, as soon as the play happened, I thought he was exactly right. And I said, oh, my gosh. And you look at it on replay, it's a little closer, there's no question. Officiating's a tough game, man. And you have a block charge that's going to be a pivotal call in the game. That's a hard situation, But as soon as I saw it, I said, oh, my gosh. And then you see the old boy running around out there. I was proud of him. He had enough stamina to keep going. He didn't stop and, raise the fist for a tired signal or anything. He kept going.
Have you been ejected?
No.
Have you? So you've never had one of those out of body experiences, like
well, I'm
Boeheim
sure
did.
I have. I just haven't been quite as demonstrative as Jimmy was. But I've had some technical fouls. I lost count a few years ago. One time it was like 13 in 21 years or something like that, and I've had a few more in the last 5 or 6 years. So I don't know how many I've had, but sometimes you just lose it. That's the bottom line, and you hate to say that, but sometimes you just lose it. And Jimmy, I thought he handled the press conference really, really well, and he did. He didn't get down in the stance and talking about getting low like he was talking about. I've got to correct him there. I mean, I don't know that he was low enough to get down in the stance and guard somebody, but he was awfully impressive.
I laughed. I understood the passion there, and you're caught up in a game, and you're going against Krzyzewski, you're going against Duke, and Duke gets those calls, and I told him next time, take off the jacket. If you're going all in, take off the jacket. Oh, I give him credit. I didn't know he had it in him.
Yeah, that's right. And it's and the people are right. Then the outcome of the game was decided because of all the free throws. But people think that old story about the chicken and the pig. The bacon and the eggs. The chicken, he's involved. He laid the egg. The dadgum pig is committed. Because the bacon is it. He is out of there. Well, the coaches, we're the pigs. We are committed. We're not just involved, kind of things.
Well, he was bacon because he was out of there too.
He was sizzling. He was sizzling as much as you can be.
You recruited Michael Jordan and James Worthy, a lot of these historical players at North Carolina. But at what point, when you're watching as an assistant coach for the great Dean Smith, do you look at Jordan and have a conversation with Dean and you go, "Holy smokes, he's so much better than I thought"?
Well, it went on for 15 years. I mean, the first time I ever saw Michael Jordan, it was our camp, and I was in Carmichael at that time running an afternoon session, and Eddie Fogler, another assistant, asked me that night at dinner before we had the large meeting with the entire camp and camp staff. He said, "You see anybody you liked?" And I said, "I think I just saw the best 6'4" high school player I've ever seen." And that was my remark after seeing Michael the first time. And yet he was better the next year, and he was better the next year, and he was better the next year.
But why didn't Dean let him go?
Oh, Danny, come on. You're too smart for that. Jesus. He did let him go. Michael, every time Michael's been asked that question, he says, because he made me concentrate on the fundamentals, I was able to expand my game.
Okay, so that's a myth then.
It's a stupid myth.
Okay.
You're not in the stupid category. Try this. In 1982, we had James Worthy, Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins. Guess how many times we scored over 80 points in the games? I think it's like 5 or 4.
Yeah.
But there was no clock, so people held the ball on us. It's those guys. And then when James was gone, we still had Michael and Sam, and there was still a clock, and people held the ball. They double teamed him and the whole bit. But seriously, I mean, every time Michael's asked that question, he said he never felt like he was held back. People said that he didn't score 20. Well, he did average 20. But the bottom line is that Coach made him a much more fundamentally sound player, and it's like the guy with the great golf swing, like yours, I'm sure. Then once you've got the great swing, you can expand and try the flop shot. You can try all the other things. But Coach Smith made sure that Michael had the solid base, that he was so fundamentally sound, and he just got better and better. I mean, he was I've never seen a guy that I thought was as good as anybody I'd ever seen, the best 6'4" high school player I'd ever seen, and 5 years later he was 10 times better, and 5 years later he was 10 times better. None of us ever saw what he was going to do, and we thought he was going to be great, but nobody saw that boy just worked his butt off.
But why is it so sensitive?
Pardon?
Why is that topic so sensitive?
Because it puts down Dean Smith, and it's incorrect.
No. But my point is, did Dean ever say, I understand the whole fundamentals with him, and obviously the brilliance of Dean, but at any point did he say, let's let Michael go? Like Len Bias, when Len Bias was at Maryland, Lefty let him go, and
Lenny didn't have the teammates that Michael had. Michael won a national championship, and Lenny Bias was great. but Michael won a national championship. I mean, you know the old story about we're playing Georgetown in the finals, and there's we're one down with 32 seconds to play, I think it was, and as he's leaving the huddle, Coach slapped him on the rear end and said, "If you get it, knock it in." I mean, he's a freshman. We have Sam Perkins as a sophomore. We have James Worthy, who's been the dominating player of the game. But Coach says, Michael's leaving us. If you get a chance, if you get a look, knock it in. I mean, there's so many times. I mean, we had games where we would tell Michael, you guard the worst scorer. He can't score. He can't stand on the beach and throw it in the ocean. So you guard everybody else. I mean, and he did that. And so I think that, but Michael wanted to be coached. Michael wanted to win. Michael desperately wanted to win. You asked Michael if he enjoyed his first or second year in the NBA as much as he did those later years when he was winning championships. And Coach could have said, okay, Michael's going to get 30 and 40, and Sam, you get 7, and James, you get 7, but it wouldn't have been as much fun.
I got yelled at there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
but I
not
do.
in the Boeheim mode.
No. You didn't take off your jacket there.
That's right.
But I, you know, my reference to that is I didn't know if there's a time as a coach where you say, let's just sort of see what happens here, or let him, you know, explore a little bit. So that was the context. Not, you know, Dean took a great player and watered him down, and you know, then he took off his seatbelt once he got to the NBA. So
what he did is he took a potentially great player and turned him into a great player who continued to work and expand his own game. I'll tell you a quick story. I apologize, I'm taking too much of your time. We're playing Maryland, and we spread the floor at the end of the game, and Michael's got the ball at 4 corners. He's standing at the top of the key, and I won't give you the names, but I've told both these guys this story because they know it's true. One of the Maryland players is backed off Michael about 10 feet, and another Maryland player yelled, "Go get him, go get him." And the other player looked back at the guy and said, "If you want his blankety blank, you come get him."
Well, Coach, thanks for setting me straight, scolding me a little bit. I feel like I'm part of your team, and good luck with the upcoming season, rest of the season.
Danny, you're the best. I enjoy listening to your show, and thanks for having me on.
All right, North Carolina head coach. I got yelled at there.